In this lesson, we're going to be talking about Hping and Hping's ability to do port scanning. Hping is actually an interesting utility. I've got Hping here. I'm going to just show you the help. What we've got is basically a utility that gives me the ability to craft packets. And what I can do here is I can use it for port scanning. Let's take a look at using Hping for port scanning. I'm going to do Hping 3. I'm going to do it in scan mode. And scan mode expects me to provide some arguments here. I'm going to say use ports 0 to 2000 and scan all of those ports. Now I need to specify the type of flags that I want to send. I'm going to send a SYN flag, and let's just send an ACK flag as well, just for fun. And now I'm going to say the host here is 172.30.42.1. I may not actually get anything back because a SYN and an ACK together really not a message that you would expect to get unless you had sent a SYN out. We ran through the scan and it didn't actually result in anything. Let's do this instead. If we just send a SYN message out, now we're actually getting ports that are open. You can see I can actually use Hping to do scans, but I can not only scan ports, but I could also do things like have a bit more control over the header values that I want to see. I could set the TTL. Let's flip back to this, and I could say a TTL of 3 just as an example. Now I've actually sent messages out with a TTL of 3. In this case, it's a system on my own network, so it doesn't really matter that much. If I were to set this as a 0, and it's actually getting some responses there, but I could actually specify a lot of different settings in the headers that I want between the IP headers and the TCP or UDP headers, depending on whether I wanted to do a TCP or a UDP scan. Basically, I've got the ability here to set a lot of different variables in my TCP and IP headers while I am doing a port scan, and I don't have to rely on necessarily a pre-canned set of scan types. I can use Hping 3 to set a lot of different header values maybe that I want, which might allow me to get through firewalls or intrusion detection systems if I were able to tweak the headers in just the right way.